Realm family, welcome to Wrestling with the Realm. My name is Will. I'm one half of the best podcasting tag team in the game. And on the other side of the screen, my better half, the Macho Man Randy
Yeah.
Savage to my Hulk Hogan. We are the
Rising to the top.
WWR Mega Powers. My co-host, Brian.
Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling with the Realm. What do we got today, Will?
We got part two of our Blue Sky booking, and I think we'll get right into it, right
Yep,
where we left off.
yep. We left off at Rumble and what we think is going down to get us to WrestleMania 41. So let's go through Royal Rumble, Will. Take us off.
Okay, so I know we were touching on both of our different matches that we have for the WWE Championship at the Rumble.
Yep,
I know you had a triple threat match between Cody, Kevin, and Randy, continuing
makes
your
sense.
story you were building in the story from Saturday night's main event. You had going with those three.
Yep.
I had something a little bit more grand, a little bit more bigger. I had Cody versus The Rock. I think they might want to play out that storyline with the oh, I put something in your hand or
Mm.
but I mean that's a little bit more grand and they usually don't pull off big matches like that outside of WrestleMania. So we'll go from there. Let's go with who we got winning the Royal Rumble.
Ooh boy, this is where we're gonna get sticky. Um, for I love your idea of The Rock and Cody to try to put a button on that. It just it would muddy the waters a little bit for Cody and for The Rock because you really can't take the belt off of Cody
No,
before Mania. Otherwise, I feel like it loses all of its bite of what we're doing, especially with The Rock. We're not putting the belt on The Rock, everybody. The Rock's not hanging around
please
to have
no.
any kind of run. Yeah, exactly. Please don't do that. Um, my triple threat match that I was going with, like you said, off of Saturday night's main event. I feel like if you can get, that's why, let me say, that's why I like the idea uh, of Randy Orton being a special guest referee at Saturday night's main event. One, very retro to do that. He gets involved somehow, and then we can do that triple threat match at the Rumble where you have three good performers um, in that match for Cody. Cody comes out on top, and we could also spin off the beef going to Mania with KO and Randy Orton. Like that seems like
Yeah.
the logical conclusion to what's going to happen there. Um, that those two are supposed to be tight, and that's going to fall apart. So I think that's a great way to keep those wheels spinning. The big news, the winner of the Royal Rumble, John Cena, is coming out on top. That has to be, if you want to tell a good story, you have John Cena win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I totally agree. I know we have a different way we're getting there. I just think he's gonna win it pretty clean. You have him in there with Roman, Cena, and Jacob Fatu at the end. You have a whole
Yeah,
final three mapped out, which I like. I think that's
yeah.
good. If you get that right, that'd be a pretty crazy call.
I I always love the old school rumbles. Everybody go back on Peacock and watch some of the old school rumbles. It would be like Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, and it would be like the Barbarian. It was always somebody. It was like one of these things does not belong here. It's like we know Barbarian's not winning this damn thing. We know it's going to be
Yeah.
Hogan or Warrior. So they would always do that kind of thing where they throw a third person as that final three, and it's always very funny where it's like Hulk Hogan, Earthquake, and Greg the Hammer Valentine. It's like okay, well Greg Valentine isn't winning this damn thing. So they always do that. So I'm in love with the idea of you have like Jacob Fatu, where you go, holy crap, Jacob Fatu made it to the final three. What could happen? Even though we all know he's not winning. Um, I think that with Cena, you put Cena in that final three. You have Roman there in that final three. You have The Rock. The Rock gets involved somehow with Roman, and that's what throws this thing over the edge for Roman and Rock, because now not only has The Rock screwed Roman with the new bloodline, but now he's also screwed him out of his title rematch at WrestleMania to get it back. So now that stuff's personal. That's how these stories usually work. So I think Cena goes over as the winner of the Royal Rumble. We progress The Rock and Roman going forward, and now we're really setting the stage for WrestleMania.
Yeah, and we do have to touch briefly on Elimination Chamber because John Cena did say he was gonna compete at the Elimination Chamber. I think a lot of people have that confused that he's gonna compete in the Elimination
Right,
Chamber
right.
match, but like gosh, I could not see John Cena at the age he is in. I mean, great shape, of course, but like it's the same thing when people were saying, "Oh, what if The Rock is the fifth member of the new Bloodline?" The Rock is not going to go
No.
into War Games at the age he's at. Same with Cena in the Elimination Chamber. I think they do something a little safer, and I think it's great that we had the match between Cody and Gunther at Crown Jewel
Yep.
because I think you run it a little old school. I think you have both champions in the ring, and this foreshadows
Ooh.
what we think our one of our night one or night two main events is going to be. I think you have John Cena look Gunther in the eyes, and I know that's where a lot of people think it's going is John Cena versus Gunther at WrestleMania. I think you throw in a little turn. I think he chooses Cody Rhodes and looks Gunther in the eyes, says, "You are not worthy."
I think I I love that. I love that Gunther gets a little bite of this apple, that he gets a little heat with this story.
Hmm.
That's goodwill. I like that.
Yeah, and I think you can have that lead to. I think Gunther can go after the both of them. I think you can have Gunther and his absolute tool, Ludwig Kaiser, face John Cena and Cody Rhodes at Elimination Chamber, and you can even build a little friction between the two. They could even lose. I mean, you could have probably you could even have Gunther pin Cody, get his pin back on Cody Rhodes, which
Hmm.
seems to be a storyline. Like Gunther hasn't been the same since he's been pinned by Cody. Get his pin back, build his momentum to fight whoever the winner of the Elimination Chamber is. I don't really know where you go for I'm not sure because I think a lot of people think it's Cena that's gonna fight Gunther. I don't know where you go from that. Maybe that's another episode we could
Yeah,
go into, but I think that would just be a good start to build some friction between Cena and Cody going into the WrestleMania
exactly.
match.
Exactly. You have to take these two uh over like Rover faces. You have to put them together. And again, now this is not reinventing the wheel. You History repeats itself in life and in professional wrestling. And no good idea ever is laid to rest. It will come back, and it will come back in some way, shape, or form. You take my favorite thing under the sun right now is Liv, Dom, and Rhea Ripley. I love that story because that is such old school storytelling. We just we flip flopped the gender roles in this. I mean, you had Hogan, Elizabeth, and Macho Man Triangle. Like you had all like this stuff happened all the time, but they're putting modern twists on these stories, and they have the performers to do it. And that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So you go back to the stuff that works, and you put that 2024 WWE flair on it, not Ric Flair. And you take Cody, Cena, two faces, you put them together, and see that's where the Gunther thing is really good. I love that you put that in there because it's not like the winner of the Royal Rumble has to make their choice at a certain date, right? It's not like they have to say by
No.
this date I have to have this. It's I'm picking this person for my match at WrestleMania. I love the idea of teasing we're going to do Gunther and Cena And through the course of telling that story, things break down between Cody and John, who are both faces, and Cena wants to go chase a record and chooses Cody for night one. I definitely think that that is a way that you get there. You have to build friction between them without turning either one of them heel, but I think those two guys can do it. I think they could totally do that
Oh,
and make it work.
absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, so let's say you were to go Cena and Gunther, like a lot of people do think. I mean, obviously, we agree Roman and Rock is happening.
Yes, that's happening.
Where does Cody end up then? A feud versus Randy Orton? I mean, it'd be entertaining, a one-on-one match, but like, I think they're building that and they're building it too early that I think it will pay out more towards the Royal Rumble.
Yep. I I agree with that. And you can't so if you were to do so there's the problem. So if we're telling a story and we know we have to do Rock and Roman, like that is happening. There is no way that WrestleMania is not having Rock and Roman. The
Oh,
Rock,
100% agree.
The Rock didn't get his way last time, whether that was a work or a shoot, however that happened, whatever. Either way, we didn't get Rock and Roman. We're getting Rock and Roman, whether people
Oh,
want that or not. It
100%,
is
yes.
happening. And you know what the beauty, and this is why I love professional wrestling, because they can tell these types of stories and we go with them. A year ago, we wanted Cody and Roman because we wanted Cody to finish his story and we needed him to beat Roman Reigns. We all wanted that badly. The Rock came in and thought he was the face and Roman is the heel, and we all want to see him take down Roman. Fast forward a year, we all want The Rock to lose. The Rock is the heel in this match. Him and Roman,
Yeah.
The Rock is the heel, and Roman is clearly the face. It's amazing what can change in a year. So that's kind of amazing and cool at the same time. So we're getting that match. So that would, like you said, it leaves Cody. And where do you go with him? Randy Orton, we're not going to do that. We already had him and Gunther at Crown Jewel. I don't think they're going to try to do that kind of champion versus champion thing, especially now that it seems like they're setting that up as a Crown Jewel thing.
Hmm.
Um, the only time I think we're going to get those is if they're going to do a unification match and they're actually going to do it, and we're not there yet. So that leaves what do you do for night one of WrestleMania? All the things that make sense are Cena, Cody, and you have a feel good night one of WrestleMania. Because who goes over in that match, Will?
I know we have a little disagreement here. I believe John Cena has done a phenomenal job, especially in the later half of his career. I mean, orange shirt John Cena in 2011 to 2000 like 13, 14 was a beast. He was not putting over any young talent ever. He was just burying people. The Nexus caught it the worst out of anyone. Wade Barrett sitting on commentary still beefing with John Cena every time he comes out. I
That's
mean,
so true. That's so true.
he's still butthurt about that. But I think he puts over Cody Rhodes. I know it's complicated because how does he get number 16 then? I think you can go back to him and Gunther eventually, especially if you plant the seeds earlier, like at Elimination Chamber. Um, but then again, now that I'm talking it out to myself, it's a coin flip of a match. I think Cody goes over. I think John lets him.
Oof. See, and this is where I disagree, and I'm not even the John Cena guy. So it's an interesting thing that I have with John Cena. I was a Rock guy back in the Attitude Era, like that was the revival and the renaissance of WWE, and I loved me some Stone Cold and some Rock. And
Mhm.
as time has gone forward and I've gotten older, I have learned to really kind of respect what John Cena did and really look at Cena and go, wow, I need to give him more credit than I was when I was just a passive, casual viewer of knowing what was going on and was kind of just dismissing his silly spinner belt, which I hate that belt so much. I'm glad I wasn't on it. It drove me insane. Um, but I I owe him more credit for what he's done and the kind of performer he is. Um, I think he goes over. I think it makes if I'm sitting there and I'm at WWE Creative and we're kind of talking this out and we're moving the pieces across the board. I don't know if they have pieces on the board. We're told that they don't have a box of gimmicks from Bruce Pritchard, but Mantar, come on, Bastion Booger. We had the one guy who was the goon, the hockey guy. There's a box of gimmicks. Maybe not anymore, but there was. Uh, but if I'm sitting there and I'm saying, what do we do? One, to subvert expectations from fans. And if we know that night two is going to be Rock and Roman, that's kind of the big one that they've kind of been building up to. We had the big one with Cody last year. They had, excuse me, they had their big match. We had the tag match night one, the big championship match night two. It was phenomenal. I think this year, we know we're doing Rock, we're doing Roman. That's night two. That's the big one. So night one, I would say send people off on a feel good moment. You have Cena go over, he wins, him and Cody. We have the passing of the belt. And this makes sense for a couple of reasons, too. Cody can get a break then. Cody's been going pretty
Yeah, he does
strong
need
here.
a break.
I feel like we take the belt off of him after Mania. He can go get a couple of months rest or whatever he's looking to do because he has been going pretty hard. Roman did the same thing last year. You know, he loses WrestleMania, and I see Roman is at my beloved Disney World. And I'm like, good for you, Roman. You've earned a little bit of time to, get some R&R. Wait a minute. Roman was always doing R&R. He didn't do a whole lot of matches. Never mind, forget that. I was just happy he was at Disney. But I feel like Cody can get a little bit time off. And that also gives you a chance to take this John Cena farewell tour, and you can start doing some stuff with that, with him holding a belt before he has to drop it to somebody. And we're not there yet, what that's going to look like. But I feel like night one, Cena goes over. It's a feel good moment because you have these two face characters. I gave Will homework a while ago, several months ago, guys. I said, go back to WrestleMania 7, I think it was. Was it 7 or 8? Now I can't remember which one it was. It was it 7 or 8? Not sure, but go back and find the match. You guys can look it up. Just find match between WrestleMania, Roddy Piper versus Bret Hart for the IC championship, and find that match, find their promo right before the match, before they go out, and you watch that match where you have two faces again, because you had Hogan and Warrior at WrestleMania 6, and it's a tough nut to crack when you have two faces. But when you look at that match with Piper and Bret Hart, that was probably the best way to tell that story in the ring between these two people who had a lot of respect for each other. They seem to have a relationship. Piper does a great job of really selling you on the idea that, he grew up with Bret and Bret's family, up in Canada, and he used to be at the house and he knew his mom and they'd make him sandwiches. Only one piece of bologna now, not two pieces, but he would tell all these stories and he really got you believing that there was something between these two. So when they're in the match and the match is going on and it starts to get a little brutal, and there's a moment in that match where Roddy Piper, the ref is out, Bret's down, Piper goes and grabs the ring bell, and he's just about to hit Bret with it, and you hear the crowd start, booing and start, making noise that they don't want him to do that. And he's really conflicted about it because he wants to hold on to his IC championship. And he has that moment where he's like, I can make this real simple. He takes the ring bell, he throws it down, he throws it back out of the ring, and they finish that match clean. And the crowd pops for it because that's what, like, they told a great story. And I think you can do that same thing with Cena and Cody. You build up a little bit of friction and tension between those two guys, but once you get them in the ring, you tell a story that way. Because by the end of it, when they hug and Cena has the belt, we're all going to be cheering, even though Cody lost. One, because we all know that Cena's not sticking around long term, so you really don't
Hmm.
hurt Cody a whole lot with that. Um, and it would just be a feel good night one. Like it's a smart thing to do before you go into night two, where you get into the that other blood feud that we're having with Roman and Rock.
Yeah, so let's transition to that. Let's go to night two, main event. Two, well, I was about to say 2 years in the making now, but this has been
Oof.
ever since Roman
Yeah.
won the Rumble and Rock raised his hand. This has been forever in the making.
Mm-hmm.
Roman Reigns versus The Rock, tribal combat. You can have the people's title be on the line, the
I love
Ulafala,
that. Yep.
whatever you want. Head of the table. That's the most important thing. Who is the final boss? Who is the tribal chief? Um, I would think at Elimination Chamber you would also probably have to have Roman beat Solo. Um,
Mm.
put that one away.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yep. Yeah,
And then
Roman's
you
got to
have,
get that win back from
yeah,
Survivor Series and kind of put the henchmen down. That's so true. You're right.
yep, and then you have um Roman Rock, and I think you'd have to think, unless The Rock is staying around much longer than we think he is, that this is an easy decision and Roman Reigns is winning this match.
Yep. I agree with you 100%. That's exactly how you would write this thing out. You have you've been building this for, like you said, you've been building this for ever, it feels like, between these two. I love the idea of that stupid People's Championship belt that The Rock has, meaning something. You have, because it's almost the same thing. And I wasn't even thinking this before when we first started talking about, holy crap, what if we could get Cena and Cody at Mania? And we really started going, man, like a little peek behind the curtain for all you guys. When me and Will are at work and we kind of have some passing conversations about this stuff, and when we first brought it up, we kind of said it, you know, tongue in cheek. And then as we started talking it through, we were like, holy crap, this could actually, like, it makes a lot of sense
Yeah,
to do this. Um, you have a feel good night one. I think night two, it goes in real hard because we're like, oh man, this is going to be a blood feud with these two. I feel like it's a feel good. And night two, when you brought up that People's Championship belt, I think Roman gets a clean win over Rock. Rock gives him that People's Championship belt and passes that torch to Roman. I
yep,
think that would be a really cool moment for The Rock, a cool moment for Dwayne Johnson to have that moment on his legacy of, we can
agreed.
finally have an actual passing of the torch. The WWE Championship, it, as much as it means something, it's just a title. It's
Yep,
just a prop to tell stories. And sometimes there's things that are bigger than that. And I think that stupid People's Championship belt, is dumb as it is, that he walks around with it. You can actually give meaning to that and have that be a symbolic thing. When, if he hands that to Roman after that match, raises his hand and lets everybody know, it's kind of a, I'm not that The Rock is done, because I don't think he'll ever be done, but just letting people know that the final boss thing is done. Roman is the guy. When you think about the bloodline, or you think about this company, it's Roman. I'm physically giving him something. So
yep.
you, visually, we can tell a story, and through the actions you can tell that kind of stuff through words. But I think that dumbass belt is actually going to have some meaning. And I love that you brought that up, because I wasn't even thinking about that People's Championship. That would actually be kind of cool. I'm down with
Yeah,
that.
no, it would be a cool passing of the torch moment, which
Yeah.
they have been trying to do. They thought they could just, when Roman won the Rumble, they thought they could just do a super quick passing of the torch right there and have Rock raise his hand, and they got booed out of the arena in New
Mm-hmm.
Orleans. And it has been forever building to this moment. I mean, finally, Roman is in a place where he is actually beloved by the fans, and Dwayne has always been beloved by the fans. And they're just two huge stars. I feel like it's the perfect time for this match, and we can quickly go over our just you got John and you got Roman. I got Cody and I got Roman.
Ooh, you're sticking with the Cody thing, huh?
I'm sticking out with Cody. He's my favorite right now. John might be my favorite of all time, but Cody's working his way into being my favorite ever. So,
Mm. I like me some Cody. 'Cause listen there, baby, you can't go wrong with the American dream. Now you got yourself the American Night. The second most recognizable athlete, second only to Muhammad Ali, baby. That is, I love me some Cody. I love Cody. I love uh, how he's a throwback to the 80s and 90s face with a little bit of something extra. Um, he's been great for the industry. And I think going into this match, though, all the sense in the world means he has to lose it. Because the thing with Cody is the chase for him to win is better than the title
oh,
run.
I
And
100% agree.
it's weird in wrestling when we talk about that stuff because that's not true for everybody. Some people, the run is the important thing. And I
Hmm.
can't believe these words are going to come out of my mouth. Like for Goldberg and WCW, it wasn't the chase for him, it was the run how he was going through
Yep.
guys. And that's one end of the spectrum. The other end, I think, is Cody, where him trying to get that belt is greater than when he has it and what he's doing. And I think if you can take him away for a little bit, give him some time off, we have Cena start to do his thing. I think eventually you can start building when he comes back. And I think that is where it takes us. We kind of talked about it a little bit, I think, of where we think that's going to go with Cena, but maybe that's where you pick up some of the Gunther stuff.
Yep.
And we get when Cena come or when Cody comes back, now he has another monster to chase again. And that actually makes a lot of sense when you think of Crown Jewel. Like going back to that, I feel like Gunther eventually is going to be the monster heel, and that might be the time to pull the trigger on that. Is once you get Cody back after WrestleMania, chasing a title again, we have
Mm.
that with Gunther.
Gosh, Triple H is just the best at this
I know.
long-term storytelling. It's ridiculous.
You know what's amazing about it? It's not even that it's like he is doing a good job. He is doing a good job with the long-term storytelling. What's amazing is that anytime they hit some sort of a roadblock because somebody gets hurt or something else happens and they have
Yeah.
to call an audible, it's been right. He's been doing the right things in those
Hmm.
circumstances. And that's the part that is like really, really
No,
amazing.
it is. Yeah.
Like you see him walking around sometimes, and I'm like, he walks around so confident, but I know in his mind he's doing the I can't believe that this is working. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of amazing that everything that they've been doing has been has been turning up so great. Um, boy, yeah, he's been doing a great job, and all of the talent's been doing a great job too. Because right now they are hitting on all cylinders, even when it feels like they're spinning their wheels on the weekly shows. There's always something going on that you want to see.
Yeah.
That's kind of the amazing thing right now. It's really wild. I don't think it's as hot as it was at this point last year, especially when we get to Royal Rumble. Things really started cooking after Cody won, but I guess we'll wait to see how this plays out to see if we pick up that same amount of heat as we did a year ago. But I feel like that's a good WrestleMania if we get to that. And that, I mean, we're not even talking about the women's side yet. That's going to be a
No.
whole other thing when we get to that because the women are tearing it up right now. Like that is
Yes,
a
absolutely.
I am so excited for the Women's Royal Rumble because that is going to be a stacked match because you're going to have the
Hmm.
NXT people up, and that, I mean, they're stacked in the women's division right now, and they they deserve it, by the way, too. Like there are some people who are just like Tiffany Stratton is, she's going to be a huge star, obviously. Um, I'm a huge Kaylani Jordan fan in NXT. I said she's next. She just needs to work on a little bit of mic stuff, but she's got it. Like they have some really, really good talent right now. So it'll be exciting when we get into the women's side of this. That's going to be fun.
Yep,
That's going to be
absolutely.
fun because we haven't talked a whole lot about that yet because we've been so hyped about the John Cena stuff that's going to be fun when we get into the women's side of this thing.
Yes, absolutely. Keep your eyes open on the channel for that one. That's coming out. Just like we did for the men's side. We're going to be predicting
Yep,
the women's side doing a BlueSky Booking for that. So we are
yep,
really excited about that.
for sure.
Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys tuning in for this BlueSky Booking, and shout out to the Realm Paranormal Podcast. Go check it out. Please go check it out. Brian, take us away.
Yep. I want to thank everybody for coming by today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys got any feedback, let us know. Um, we're just happy to be doing this. We're two guys who love talking wrestling. So I hope you guys are
Yes.
having fun with it. Um, Next episode, we got something that is just going to be fun. What are we doing, Will? Tell them what we're doing next episode.
We're doing a little Mount Rushmore, our top four wrestlers of all time. And we haven't shared each other's
Nope.
lists,
Nope.
so I think I got some people on my list that Brian's gonna be like, whoa.
I,
And
I don't know. Our lists are either going to be very similar or they're going to be worlds apart. And
yeah,
I'm not sure which way it's going to go. So I'm super excited for that. So keep your eyes out for that one, guys. That'll be coming up next. But until we get to the Mount Rushmore of wrestling, that's Will and I'm Brian. We'll catch you guys next time on Wrestling with the Realm. Peace.